In the quiet, rural village of Green Hollow, strange occurrences had always been whispered about, but nothing had ever been as sinister as the events that started unfolding one fateful autumn. The villagers were a superstitious lot, their beliefs deeply rooted in old folklore and traditions. Yet, even they were unprepared for the terror that would soon grip their community. It all began when Emma Turner, a local farmer's wife, found a peculiar wooden totem near the edge of her pigsty. The totem was crudely carved into the shape of a pig, with small, ominous symbols etched along its body. She dismissed it as a prank by local kids and threw it away without much thought. The following night, a blood-curdling squeal woke Emma and her husband, Thomas. Rushing to the pigsty, they found their prized sow, Bessie, in a state of frenzy, foaming at the mouth and thrashing violently. By morning, Bessie was dead, and the Turners were left with a disturbing question. What had driven the animal to such madness? Word of the incident spread quickly through Green Hollow, and it wasn't long before other farmers began discovering similar totems on their properties. With each new totem, a pig would fall ill or die under mysterious circumstances. The village elders, versed in old legends, whispered of a dark curse, the pig curse, said to be invoked by those seeking revenge or harboring deep malice. Desperate to protect their livestock, the villagers sought the help of Abigail Marsh, an old woman living on the outskirts of the village, rumored to be a witch. Though she had always been an outcast, the severity of their plight left them with no choice. Abigail listened to their tales and examined the totems, her expression growing grimmer by the minute. "This is dark magic," she declared. "Someone in this village has called upon ancient forces to bring ruin upon you. These symbols are not mere carvings. They are conduits for malevolent spirits." Abigail instructed the villagers to gather all the totems and bring them to her. She performed a cleansing ritual, burning the totems in a large bonfire, while chanting incantations to dispel the curse. For a while, peace seemed to return to Green Hollow, and no new totems were found. However, the relief was short-lived. One night, Thomas Turner, tormented by the loss of Bessie, wandered into the woods in search of answers. There, in a clearing, he stumbled upon a hidden shrine dedicated to the curse, surrounded by more pig totems and lit by eerie, flickering candles. As he approached, a figure emerged from the shadows, Walter Grimes, a reclusive and bitter man who had always harbored a grudge against the Turners for a long-forgotten slight. "I warned you, Turner," Walter hissed, his eyes wild with hatred. "You took everything from me, and now I will take everything from you." Before Thomas could react, Walter lunged at him with a knife. In the ensuing struggle, the shrine was toppled, and the candles set the surrounding underbrush ablaze. The fire spread quickly, consuming the totems and breaking the curse once and for all. Thomas barely escaped with his life, leaving Walter to perish in the flames. The next morning, the villagers found Thomas unconscious at the edge of the woods, clutching a charred piece of a totem. He told them what had happened, and though the curse was lifted, the memory of those dark days lingered in Green Hollow. The villagers rebuilt their lives, forever wary of the shadows that might hide ancient, vengeful forces. And so, the tale of the pig curse became another whispered legend in the annals of Green Hollow, a reminder of the darkness that can be unleashed by the bitterness of the human heart. Years passed, and the story of the pig curse faded into the annals of Green Hollow's history, becoming more of a cautionary tale told to children than a real threat. The villagers moved on, their lives returning to a semblance of normalcy. However, the land where Walter Grimes' shrine once stood remained untouched, a stark reminder of the past. Emma Turner, now a widow after Thomas succumbed to illness a few winters ago, lived alone on her farm. She was regarded with a mix of respect and pity by the villagers. Despite the passage of time, she couldn't shake the feeling that something dark still lingered in the shadows of her farm. One stormy night, as Emma sat by the fire, she heard a faint noise coming from the pigsty. Her heart raced as memories of that fateful autumn night resurfaced. Grabbing a lantern, she ventured outside. The wind howled, and rain lashed against her face as she made her way to the pigsty. Inside, she found her new sow, Daisy, cowering in a corner, her eyes wide with terror. As Emma soothed Daisy, she noticed something glinting in the mud. Digging through the muck, she uncovered a small, rusted tin box. Inside were fragments of old totems and a worn-out journal. The journal belonged to Walter Grimes, filled with ramblings about the curse, incantations, and plans for revenge against the Turners. Emma realized that Walter's curse was more powerful and insidious than they had imagined. The burning of the shrine had not fully dispelled it. Remnants of his dark magic still lingered. Determined to protect her farm and village, Emma sought the help of Abigail Marsh once more. Abigail, now frail but still sharp-minded, listened intently to Emma's account. She examined the journal and the fragments, her face darkening with concern. "The curse is not entirely broken," Abigail said. "Walter's hatred was so profound that it bound the curse to this land. To fully lift it, we must perform a ritual of purification at the site of the shrine." The next day, under a gray sky, Emma and a group of villagers followed Abigail into the woods. They reached the clearing, now overgrown and eerie. Abigail set up a circle of protective charms and lit a sacred fire in the center. As she chanted ancient incantations, Emma and the others threw the fragments and the journal into the flames. The fire roared to life, burning with an unnatural intensity. The ground trembled, and a chilling wind swept through the clearing. Shadows seemed to writhe and dissipate as the flames consumed the remnants of Walter's dark magic. Suddenly, the fire flared brightly and then extinguished, leaving the clearing in an eerie silence. "It is done," Abigail declared, her voice echoing in the stillness. "The curse is lifted, and the spirits are at peace." As they made their way back to the village, a sense of relief washed over Emma. The land felt lighter, as if a great burden had been lifted. The villagers celebrated their newfound freedom from the curse, and Green Hollow flourished once more. However, Emma couldn't help but wonder if the darkness was truly gone. She kept Walter's journal, a reminder of the past and a warning for the future. Life in Green Hollow returned to normal, but the villagers remained vigilant, forever wary of the shadows that once harbored ancient, vengeful forces. And so, the tale of the pig curse became more than just a legend. It was a testament to the enduring power of hope and the human spirit in the face of darkness. Spring brought new life to Green Hollow. Flowers bloomed, animals thrived, and the villagers celebrated the end of the long, harsh winter. Emma Turner's farm prospered once more, and for a time, the memories of the pig curse seemed to fade like a distant nightmare. But as the village thrived, something insidious began to fester in the shadows. Unbeknownst to the villagers, Walter Grimes' dark magic had left deeper scars on the land than anyone had realized. Though the curse was lifted, the malevolent energy had seeped into the earth, waiting for the right moment to resurface. One evening, as Emma walked through her fields, she noticed an unusual fog rolling in. It was thick and cold, much unlike the gentle spring mists. As she gazed at it, she felt a chill run down her spine. Her animals grew restless, and the usually lively birds fell silent. That night, a series of strange events began to plague the village. Livestock went missing, crops withered, and an eerie presence seemed to linger in the air. The villagers, already superstitious, were quick to suspect that the curse had returned. Emma, feeling a growing sense of dread, turned to Abigail Marsh once more. When she arrived at Abigail's cottage, she found the old woman poring over ancient texts and grimoires. "It's not over, is it?" Emma asked, her voice trembling. Abigail looked up, her eyes filled with worry. "No, Emma. The curse was a symptom, not the cause. Walter Grimes tapped into something far older and darker than we realized. The land itself is tainted." Determined to save her village, Emma and Abigail set out to uncover the true source of the darkness. They scoured Walter's journal for clues and pieced together a history of the land. They learned of an ancient burial ground beneath the forest, a place where old rituals had been performed long before Green Hollow was settled. Gathering a group of brave villagers, Emma and Abigail led an expedition into the heart of the forest. Guided by the journal and their own instincts, they found the burial ground, a circle of ancient stones, covered in moss and etched with cryptic symbols. Abigail began to chant, invoking protective spells and calling upon the spirits of the earth for guidance. As she did, the ground beneath them began to tremble, and a deep, resonant hum filled the air. Shadows danced around the stones, coalescing into a dark figure, an ancient spirit awakened by Walter's meddling. The spirit spoke in a voice that echoed through the minds of all present. "Why have you disturbed my slumber?" Emma stepped forward, her heart pounding. "We seek to end the darkness that plagues our land. Walter Grimes disturbed your rest with his curse. We ask for your forgiveness and your help." The spirit regarded Emma with cold, ancient eyes. "The darkness cannot be so easily undone. But if you truly wish to cleanse this land, you must offer a sacrifice." Emma's blood ran cold. "What kind of sacrifice?" "One of pure heart and strong will," the spirit replied. "A life for a life. Only then will the land be restored." The villagers exchanged fearful glances, but before anyone could speak, Abigail stepped forward. "I will be the sacrifice. My time in this world is nearing its end, and my life has been long and full. Let me be the one to restore balance." Emma and the villagers protested, but Abigail was resolute. With a heavy heart, they prepared for the ritual. As the sun set, Abigail stood in the center of the stone circle, surrounded by the villagers holding candles. She recited an ancient incantation, and the air grew thick with magic. The ground beneath her glowed with a soft, ethereal light, and the spirit's form began to dissolve into the earth. A sense of peace and finality filled the clearing as Abigail's voice faded away. When the light subsided, the stones were still, and Abigail was gone. The villagers wept for their loss, but felt an overwhelming sense of relief. The air was lighter, and the oppressive darkness had lifted. Emma returned to her farm, feeling a profound gratitude for Abigail's sacrifice. Green Hollow flourished once more, and the tale of the pig curse became a story of hope and redemption. The villagers never forgot Abigail Marsh, and they honored her memory by living in harmony with the land, ever vigilant of the ancient forces that once threatened their home.